There are two different kinds of stress, distress and eustress. Distress is known as negative stress, harmful or unpleasant feelings under which health and performance seem to deteriorate. Eustress is seen as positive stress, like busy family gatherings, weddings, or preparing for things that are fun and enjoyable, but still require time and effort to achieve. Finding balance and harmony to achieve an optimal level of stress is important. Ever had those pre-competition jitters, butterflies in your stomach? It's okay to be nervous, but when it distracts from your performance, you need to find ways to manage stressful influences. Take a look at the following chart. It illustrates the relationship between good and bad stress. Having too much stress can lead to poor performance, overload, and burnout. But not having enough creates boredom, and you actually become less productive without stress in your life. Stress can be a good thing, as it makes you more prepared, better organized, and able to manage a multitude of tasks at one time. Our bodies respond to stress in a variety of ways, some good and some bad. First of all, when something stresses us, our body sends out an alarm reaction. Adrenaline is released from the adrenal glands. Adrenaline is a hormone that causes a rise in heart rate, increased breathing levels, and an increase in blood sugar. All these reactions are getting your body ready for activity, whatever that activity might be. This is called the fight or flight response. Your body is alert and ready. But it can only sustain this high alert level for so long. Over extended periods of time, this can lead to physical and mental exhaustion. The body can only cope with this state of readiness for a certain period. If the stressful situation is not rectified, the body begins to fail to cope. The stress could be very short-term or happen over a period of months or years, depending on the severity on the body. Some psychological changes that can occur are indecisiveness, decreased concentration, or a decreased attention span. When you are stressed, your mind is full of information and being overloaded. It doesn't function properly. Also, you can start to feel burnt out, angry, or hostile towards friends, family, or even teammates. Understand that this is not your fault. It is tiny metabolic reactions in your body that are happening without you even knowing it. Physiological changes that can occur are such things as headaches, sweating, upset stomachs. The adrenaline that is produced can have devastating effects on the body if it is kept in high levels. The body is in alert mode, and an elevated blood pressure can cause chest pain, sleeping problems, and an immune breakdown. How often have you been really stressed out, then a few days later get sick? The longer your body feels stressed, the longer it has to deal with these symptoms. This can lead to dangerous health risks such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, osteoporosis, and even Alzheimer's. For athletes, the major immediate problem with stress is how it affects their performance. Stress can be a silent enemy. Knowing how to recognize it right away and deal with it is important to keep it from taking over and becoming unmanageable. Remember, positive stress is not a bad thing. Recall the chart where if you do not have enough stress in your life, you can become too idle, bored, and therefore actually achieve less than you're capable of. Learning how to manage your stress is the key. However, anxiety is the product of too much stress on our bodies. It is a negative reaction to stress, and athletes need to learn how to channel their stresses into positive energy. Here are a few tips to stay in control of your stress levels. You can identify the cause. Figure out what it is that is really causing you to be stressed. You may find that your stress arises from something that's easy to correct. Coaches and teachers can help you analyze what is going on in your life or your training that is putting too much stress on you. Sometimes it can be as simple as a big project that you haven't completed or a nagging to-do activity that you keep putting off. Make sure to monitor your moods. If you feel stressed during the day, write down what caused it, along with your thoughts and moods. Again, you may find the cause to be less serious than you first thought. A certain classmate that is being annoying. Maybe you haven't eaten in a while and you are finding you feel really stressed and moody right before lunch break. Make time for yourself at least 2 or 3 times a week. Even 10 minutes a day of personal time can help refresh your mental outlook and slow down your body's stress response systems. Turn off the phone. Spend time alone in your room. Exercise. Or meditate to your favorite music. Breathe deep. Close your eyes and list all the wonderful things you have in your life right now. You'll be surprised at how long the list can be, and it will make you feel better. Walk away when you're angry. Remember, a psychological reaction to stress is anger. Before you react, take time to mentally regroup by counting to 10. Then look at the situation again. Training, practice will also help you work off steam. After a good long workout, everything always looks a little brighter. Another thing you can do is analyze your schedule. Assess your priorities and delegate whatever tasks you can. Eliminate tasks that are, oh, I should do this, but they're not must things to do. Create to-do lists and start checking things off one at a time. It feels good to cross out one and move on to the next. It's hard to keep everything stored inside your brain. That causes stress too. Write it down and get it done, one by one. Set reasonable standards for yourself and others. Don't expect perfection. It's okay to take a rest. It's okay to not be the best. It's okay to just be mediocre for a day. Many athletes put too much pressure on themselves every minute of every day. You can try different techniques. There are numerous ways to handle stress, and each one of us is different. You can try any of the following: visualization, relaxation, yoga, meditation, confidence-building activities, pre-competition mental preparation, social support, positive self-talk, time management, and just prioritization. The most important key in stress management is identifying it. Acknowledge the stress. Say to yourself, I'm stressed. That is why I'm feeling this way. Then set an action plan to get control of your life and your feelings. Imagery is the use of mental images and scenarios to help relax the mind. This can be either internal, seeing your performance from within your body, or external, viewing your performance as if you are someone or somewhere else. Imagery can be used to relax by picturing a favorite place or calming scene, or to rehearse the upcoming performance. Mental rehearsal is effective both in the mind and in the body. Thinking through a movement produces the correct order and force of muscular contraction, much like a dry run. Skiers use this before their runs. They even take pictures and rehearse each turn in their mind. Thinking through and planning an event in the mind can help an athlete to deal with the scenarios as they arise. Progressive muscle relaxation involves the deliberate contraction of muscles followed by a greater relaxation. This is often practiced in yoga. Isolating different parts of the body and mentally tightening and relaxing them can make you more aware of how tense they can be. Deep breathing has a calming effect on the mind, as well as physiological effects such as reducing your heart rate. Again, yoga concentrates on the breath, but this can be practiced anywhere at any time. It is amazing how effective deep breathing can be to calm the body and the mind. Breathe in, breathe out. Close your eyes. My heart rate is beginning to slow. My mind is calm. More oxygen is being delivered to my brain and muscles. My thoughts are clear. Try it anywhere, anytime. Certainty in the athlete's mind of what they are going to do during an event, game, or competition can help reduce anxiety and increase motivation. Having the confidence to step on the starting blocks, face down a breakaway skater, is what all athletes strive for. That is why they train so hard, and believing in themselves is the first step. If you have put in the time and effort to train for something you love, then you can have all the confidence in the world when you head out to compete. That is why you practice and train way more than you compete. If you are questioning your own self-confidence, then think of these few things. Look at what you've already achieved. Think about your life so far and list the 10 best things you've achieved in an achievement log. Perhaps you came top in an important competition or test, played a key role on an important team, did something that made a key difference in someone else's life, or produced something that meant a lot for your team. Put these into a smartly formatted document, which you can look at often, and then spend a few minutes each week enjoying the successes you've already had. Think about your strengths. Use a technique like a SWOT analysis to look at who you are, looking at your achievement log and reflecting on your recent life, thinking about what your friends would consider to be your strengths and weaknesses, and from these, think about your opportunities and your threats that you face. Make sure you enjoy a few minutes reflecting on your strengths. Then think about all the things that are really important to you and what you want to achieve with your life. Start managing your mind. Learn to pick up and defeat negative self-talk, which can destroy your confidence. You're thinking negatively when you fear the future, put yourself down, criticize yourself for errors, doubt your abilities, or expect failure. Negative thinking damages your confidence, harms your performance, and paralyzes your mental skills. A major problem with this is that negative thoughts tend to flit into our consciousness, do their damage, and flip back out again, with their significance having barely been noticed. Since we do not challenge them, they can be completely incorrect and wrong. However, this does not diminish their harmful effect. Thought awareness is the process by which you observe your thoughts and become aware of what is going through your head. One way to become more aware of your thoughts is to observe your stream of consciousness as you think about a stressful situation. Do not suppress any thoughts. Instead, just let them run their course while you watch them and write them down. By logging your negative thoughts for a reasonable period of time, you can quickly see patterns in your negative thinking. When you analyze your thoughts at the end of this period, you should be able to see the most common and most damaging thoughts. Tackle these as a priority. Thought awareness is the first step in the process of managing negative thoughts, as you can only manage thoughts that you're aware of. The next step in dealing with negative thinking is to challenge the negative thoughts that you identified. Look at every thought you wrote down and rationally challenge it. Ask yourself whether the thought is reasonable and does it stand up to fair scrutiny. As an example, by analyzing your list, you might identify that you have frequently had the following negative thoughts: feelings of inadequacy, worries that your performance will not be good enough, and anxiety that things outside your control will undermine your efforts, or worries about other people's reactions to your results. Starting with these, you might challenge these negative thoughts in a few different ways. If you have feelings of inadequacy, then ask yourself, have you trained as well as you reasonably should? Do you have the experience and resources you need to do it? Have you planned, prepared, and rehearsed appropriately? If you've done all this, then you've done everything that you should sensibly do. If you're still worried, are you setting yourself unattainably high standards for what you can physically achieve? Don't worry about things that are out of your control. There is nothing you can do about the weather or the conditions of snow, ice, grass, or water. Everyone else in the competition is dealing with the same issues, so it's out of your control. Flight delays, competition backups, wrong numbers, technical problems are all things that are not your fault. Using relaxation techniques instead of negative thoughts can help to alleviate the stress of the uncontrollable. Also, don't worry about other people's reactions. If you have put in good preparation and you do the best you can, then that is all that you need to know. If you perform as well as you reasonably can and you stay focused on the goals that you have set, then how other people react is out of your control. Some positive words to include in your mind might be, I am well trained for this. I have the experience, the tools, and the resources that I need. I have thought through and prepared for all possible issues. I can do the best that I can. I have trained and practiced well for this, and I thoroughly understand the competition and what is expected of me. I have the time, resources, and help that I need. I am well prepared to get an excellent result. I have thought about everything that might reasonably happen, and I have planned how I can handle all likely scenarios. I have my support network ready to help where necessary. I am very well prepared to react flexibly and effectively to unusual events. Fair people will respect that I am well prepared. I will rise above any unfair criticism in a mature and professional way. Thought awareness helps you identify the negative thinking, unpleasant memories, and misinterpretation of situations that may interfere with your performance and damage your self-confidence. This allows you to deal with them. Don't let negative thoughts get in the way of your goals. Goal setting is a highly useful and worthwhile technique. Having set goals helps an athlete to direct their attention to the task at hand, structure training to meet goals, increase their confidence once these goals are achieved, and evaluate their performance and progress. However, the goals must meet the following guidelines in order to be effective. They need to be specific. Goals must suit both the athlete and the coach in order to get the best out of both individuals. They must meet the specific needs of the athlete. They must be measurable. Goals and achievements must be measurable. The skills, tasks must be measured when the goal is set and then continually remeasured so the athlete knows when the goal has been achieved. The goals must be attainable and realistic. They must be challenging enough without being out of reach. The general rule is to set the goal just beyond the previous performance level. And they must be time-bound. There must be a long-term end goal. These can be reached with short and intermediate goals.